Hello and welcome to a brand new Unsourced Wall unboxing. I know it's been a while, but this is actually something that I really want to talk about. I've been waiting for this for ages. Hell, I've been waiting for this before it was even announced. I've always been hoping that they would do this, and they finally have. And it is the NECA Mirage style Splinter for obviously their Mirage Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. This is a figure that never came out with the original line release, which of course everyone knows was just the original Turtles, April, Shredder, and some foot soldiers, and that's it. We never got a Splinter, and I think there was like a bunch of like really nicely done, really actually pretty incredibly well done customs of this floating around, but nothing official. So this is the first official one, and I just had to nab it up. I saw it on the shelf. I was out the other day and like, you know what? I'm gonna pay this. I'm not gonna pay shipping or anything like that. I'd rather just get it out in the wild, and I was able to find it. So let's get it all opened up. So yeah, here we have him outside the box. And to say, he looks fantastic. He comes with a ginormous amount of accessories, all also very Mirage based. And I think that's made up for the fact that, you know, Splinter is a very diminutive character. They probably wanted to, you know, charge their regular price for these things, but not let people think that they were being, you know, scammed or whatever. So I really do appreciate the fact that we got all these fun accessories, including these guys, the baby turtles, which are very technically re-releases, which are always really appreciated when it comes to the NECA Mirage line. I believe that the original single releases for the Turtles came with the baby turtle versions as well, and so it's great to have these. NECA is really bad with doing those old style re-releases. They never re-released the original early Mirage style Turtles at all, and then, you know, they've recently done Mirage style Turtles, but it's the Jim Lawson design, so it's good to have something, as well as they never released the Shredder in the classic full color style. They've only been doing that kind of single color monotone blue. So, you know, I think I'm going to take what I can get. I'm going to take the win. It also comes with a pre-mutated Splinter here. So that is amazing. I love it. And he looks great right here. And because it also comes with a canister of ooze that's leaking, you can create a little diorama. You know, that is always also very appreciated. It comes with a little scene right there. It's fantastic. Some other Splinter-centric accessories are the teapot and teacup. That's fun. And 4 hands. I already removed one of the hands from Splinter himself, which was this kind of open, palm hand. And he comes with an extra gripping hand for the other side and 2 pointing fingers. So I just took out one already to just, see what the cane in action look like, and it was actually very smooth to do. Let me just say right off the bat, like with Casey Jones, the Mirage Casey, the tolerances on the joints and the fluidity of the actual figure were much better than some other NECA figures can be. I was pleasantly surprised. However, I think that at least with the hip joint, it is maybe too fluid. It's very hard to get this guy into like a very nice stable pose. One leg always seems to be splaying out more than it should, so that's a bit disappointing. But I think that you can always just sort of leverage the cane a little bit, and you don't even really notice that one is kind of leaning backward a little bit. I just wish we could stand him straight up, but it is what it is. And lastly, which are 2 surprising ones, one less surprising than the other, is that we get an Utrom, which is fantastic. Very, very Mirage style Utrom, which I really appreciate. And I didn't end up getting the regular standard Utrom release with the robot body, but I was tempted to. But it's nice to have at least something to represent that side of the early Mirage comics, if I didn't even get that. And then here is a Mouser, and this one's fantastic. It comes in a very static pose. The legs don't move. The feet do shift up and down along with the knees, but it can only really stay in one pose, which is one foot in front of the other. But the neck is mostly posable, side to side and slightly up and down with a fully posable mouth. So this is actually really, really cool. And if you wanted to get a little bit, weird with it, you can put a baby turtle in the Mouser's mouth here, and maybe have like a little bit of an action pose with like Splinter trying to save the baby turtle, something silly like that. It's great to have this. Again, I'm not getting like the standard releases of these things, so it's good to have some of the tertiary stuff represented. But onto the main player himself, Splinter, and this one I was actually worried about because when they released the 4-pack Turtles, it was very worrisome because while I like the Jim Lawson designs, I think he has great looks for the Turtles. It's also very maybe equally iconic to the Eastman designs. I was worried that they would like make Splinter too Lawson-y, and I always wanted Splinter to go along with like the early kind of NECA designs for the Mirage Comics toy line they were doing. And so I didn't want to seem too out of place. Now, I feel like this is a great compromise. It does seem very Lawson, especially in sort of the body proportions and some of the detailing here. But the face especially feels very Eastman, very early Eastman. And I think maybe that's a byproduct of the fact that Eastman seems to have at least some input on some of the design work. At the very least, he's the one doing the art for the boxes. And this seems to be taking more cues from the box art than it does from either his original design or the Lawson design. And I think that he's definitely trying to keep it at least mostly consistent within each other. So it does seem like a good compromise. And you can definitely see, like, if you want this to be your Lawson Splinter along with your Lawson Turtles, or if you want it to be like an early Mirage Splinter, if you're early Mirage Turtles, it would work fine either way. But yeah, no, I do like his range posability. He has obviously got a much more stocky, much more stout body, so it's really hard to do much with him. But I don't think you need to do that much with Splinter overall just to get him looking good. I do love the cloth robe. My main worry is that this, with cloth robes especially, I'm never gonna take cloth clothing off. Because I don't know how to put it back together in a way that looks good. I'm really bad at tying knots. So something like this I'm not going to untie this ever. It's going to be the way it is forever. But I feel like if someone wanted to do like full, like early Mirage Splinter, where he sometimes was like just wrap body without the robe, you know, it's fully sculpted, you know, I think you totally do it. I think it would look a little bit weird because I think the chest part of the buck here is very slim just to give the robe enough kind of leverage and coverage. So I think that would look really kind of awkward. But, you know, if you want to do it, you're free to do it. You can even like remove the robe and maybe get your own like custom robes on. I know that there are custom robes for other Splinter figures out there, you know, with like the cartoon patterning or some cartoon detailing. So, you know, that's always an option. And I think that he looks really awesome. One last thing is the tail is also fully posable, but the ball at the very end here is stuck, and I don't want to force it. But I believe it is meant to move side to side a little bit. You can see I just moved it a little bit there. Yeah, it is stuck. I believe that is due to paint. There has been some paint chipping. I'm easing it in back and forth. It is, yeah, it's much better now than it was like a few seconds ago. But there is a lot of paint chipping going on there. I don't mind paint chipping that much, at least with these figures, because, you know, for one, the artwork is meant to evoke this really kind of scraggly nature, so I think the paint chipping doesn't really detract from it. But also, you know, you know what you're gonna get. You know, buyer beware. NECA paint chipping, it's all part of it. Anyway, I do love that the tail is more rubbery plastic. And here's a funny thing: about 3/4 of the tail actually has a I guess a metal wire inlining, because, you know, while the last quarter tail here is very floppy, the rest of it is bendable. So it probably has a metal wire inside, and that's really cool. You can get in some really fun poses. You can definitely shape it to more where you want. You can maybe give it a little bit of a twisty Q if you wanted, you know, more rat-like, which is really, really fun. And I think he looks fantastic. I don't know if I'm ever going to use any of these diorama pieces. I don't do dioramas, but they are a great touch for those that do. So let's get to the other main event, and let's put him against my Turtles. Now, like always, these are the bootleg NECA Mirage Turtles. Original designs that I got from AliExpress with the colored headbands, which I think are fantastic. And anyone that wants the NECA figures that have never been re-released, but with these designs and these colors, you know, I believe that they still sell in bulk. I know that sometimes the actual quality can be variable, but they're still really cheap. I think they average out to about like $6 a figure, so plus shipping, of course, but I love them, and I use them for all of these comparisons with NECA figures. I did Raph with the with the Casey Jones, and he looked fantastic. And with Splinter, it's a perfect match. I think that they scale amazingly. I think that Splinter in the original comics is a little bit taller, but I think that overall it's perfectly in line with how you would like these figures to be scaled up with together. Just in general, it captures his rattiness, but also you can get these fun stuff where you can get like the turtles. Even in the original NECA designs, never really could pose that well to sort of lean downward, and it creates a little more of a differential look to it. So I think that does give a great aura to them. I think it does match really well. And in any case, like the Lawson Turtles are even more bulky and tall and beefed out than these guys are. So in either scenario, the bootleg or official, Splinter is going to come off really puny, but it's Splinter, and I think that at least design-wise, you can tell what I mean, where even though this has touches of Lawson, it still really does fit in with these original Eastman designs. So I love it, I really do, and it's great to have like this complete unit. I'm not getting all of the Mirage NECA figures, but I think that by starting with the Turtles and even the bootleg ones, it has opened me up to getting a lot more of them, especially the core ones like Splinter or Casey. And when they eventually finally do re-release April, I'm definitely getting her just to go along with these. So I can't wait for more. And yeah, let me know what you think below. Are you getting Splinter? Have you gotten the bootlegs, or do you have the originals? And what do you think? Do you think that these compare? And if you have the Lawson Turtles, how do you think that works with them? Because I think that he would work really well with them, even though, again, he was taller in the comics. But let me know. And yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and see you again next time. Thank you for watching, and have a great week.